Turn to somebody else and say it louder. You have a story. Now everybody say yourself. I have a story. And so we've talked about before, your story is how God has acted in your life, even though you may not have known it. God is acting in your life. Tonight, just by being here, you have a story of how God is going to speak to you. He's about to speak to you through a young man named Peyton Barrett. We're going to give Peyton Barrett a hand for coming up here. Come here for Peyton. Here you go.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Peyton, like he said, and yeah, I've been a Christian basically my entire life. I don't remember a time when I wasn't, so most of my story is going to unfold after I became a Christian. There's not much before. I don't really remember a lot. There was some stuff that when I was a kid, my parents went through a lot of stuff, and that experience really kind of shaped my life. Between how I viewed people and just life in general, and just like trust. Like they almost got a divorce, and I kind of, in my own mind, I kind of took the role of like a comforter in that situation, and I made myself responsible for how like my mom would feel, and I kind of grew to think like I can't trust anyone. I don't know if that makes sense, but for me somehow subconsciously it did. Like I'm like, oh, if the people who are supposed to love me the most are kind of making me feel like, you know, like this, or like just random strangers, like how are they supposed to treat me? So in my head, even if I didn't even know it, my head was like, don't trust people, stay away, you know? So there's this empty void in my life, and dude, I tried to fill that with so much stuff. I don't think there's a single thing like that you guys can experience that I haven't done or experienced or know in some way about. Because I tried to fill that hole in my life a lot. And sometimes I got it right. You know, sometimes I filled it with God. But perpetually, just constantly, I fill it with things that weren't supposed to fill the position of God. Like the last year, dude, I did so many sports, and I hated them all. But I did it because there was this perpetual emptiness inside of me, you know, that I needed to fill with doing something so I don't have to think about how I feel, you know, and how lonely I was. Because I wouldn't open myself up to trust anyone because, you know, they're just going to abandon me and make me feel like crap. So why would I do that, you know? Why would I go out and make myself vulnerable? So I would just hide it beneath layers of just things. And I would make so many friends. I would be so nice to people and be nice to people, but I was nice to people because of my own insecurities, and I would force them to like me. I would like run up to them every day and like be like, "Oh, just like me," you know. And that's probably where I got my personality from. I'm a very outgoing kind of person, but really inside, if you really get to know me, I'm not. I prefer being by myself. But you wouldn't know that if you just like met me. And so, yeah. So there's this hole, right? And I would perpetually just fill it with things like sports or friends. And recently, like the last few months, that hole got so big in my life. Because I started to realize like, oh my gosh, nothing is filling this. And it got frustrating as all heck. I almost like gave up with it, you know? Like I reached really low points in the last few months about just who I am and who I want to be and who I think I'm capable of being. And it was a hopeless time, really, the past few months. And I'm not sure if you've seen me up here for the past few months, but you can probably tell by the way I've been. Yeah, but really what really changed that around for me is when we went to Mission Arlington. I did not want to go at all. Not because I don't like know what to do. I've been in the last junior year? So 5 years. I've been for a long time. I know what I'm doing. But I didn't want to go because I didn't feel spiritually up to it because of the way I've been, you know? And when we got there, immediately I had to turn it on. I told my mom, I was like, dude, I made a mistake coming here. This is a terrible situation. I shouldn't be here. I feel like crap. I feel alone. And I cried to her, and we just talked. And Mom said, Peyton, you gotta trust God, and you gotta completely pour into this thing. If you're gonna believe in it, then go all out with it, you know? And just completely give your trust to Him. And don't be afraid of what other people can do. And don't try to fill that hole in your life with things, feelings, and emotions. And so that that helped a lot. But what really changed is the last day we were there, because we had to leave a day early, these two kids, I taught them a message about Jesus. And these two kids were like, oh, we don't know much about that. So I talked to them, and they ended up getting saved. And that shook me, like, heavily. Because I realized, oh my gosh, like, in my own selfishness, I've been neglecting what God's called me to do, you know? I've been pushing him away because I don't feel adequate. And God just kind of made it obvious that, like, he has a purpose for me, you know? And by focusing on my own, just like selfishness, I pushed him away. And that's what led me into that dark, deep, terrible place. So that really turned a lot of stuff around for me. I realized I can't fill that hole in my life with other things, you know? Because especially in life, you're going to see things and you're going to be like, ooh, that makes me feel really good. I'm going to go flock to that, pour myself into it, and completely devote my life to what that is, you know? To whatever, I don't know what it's going to be in your life. It could be sports, it could be friends, it could be drama or whatever. But you're going to come across a thing that seems better than God. And you're going to pursue that thing, and it's a great thing to pursue because everything God has made points to him. And it's great for edification and just for showing us how great and wonderful he is. But that thing can't take the place of God. So for me, I tried to put stuff in God's place in my life. And nothing can fill that spot. And so I encourage you, as you go throughout your lives, or weeks, or whatever, and you start to see things that you feel like would make you happier than God, or feel like would satisfy you. It won't. I've tried everything, and none of it has made me feel good enough. It all has led me down a dark place that I don't want any of you guys to go through. So that's my story. I love all you guys, and have a good rest of your night.
Let's let Peyton know how much we appreciate him sharing this at the end.